My name is Eddie, and I've been practicing Satsang for over 14 years. And today I will be introducing our facilitator. But first, I'd like to give you a short introduction to this weekend workshop. Satsang is a method, a scientific method, by which we can obtain peace, light, and love in our lives. It consists of words, Sat, Sang, means positive energy, and Sang means to be with. So Satsang means to be with positive energy. A very important element of satsang is meditation. When we meditate, we withdraw our senses from the physical world and worldly objects and direct them inwards into a single thought. Our minds become calm and cleansed, whereby we obtain higher states of consciousness. Inner orientation. This satsang is set up for the inner satsang. It consists of meditating in silence, as opposed to an outer satsang, which would consist of something like chanting. Group orientation. The workshop is structured for group meditation and group participation. When we meditate in a group, our focus tends to be increased and our progress on our spiritual path tends to be accelerated. Joy and inner happiness. All people, men and women, seek inner happiness. The activities in our lives are centered around this aspect. When we meditate and participate in satsang, our inner happiness increases. After a period of practice, that inner happiness is transformed into joy, which we experience 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The agenda for today. The agenda is broken down into 3 sections. The informative session, where we'll give a lecture or introduce satsang or introduce the founder, and followed by practice session where we'll teach you the method for meditation, followed by a period of practice. Lastly, there's the interactive session where you'll be allowed to ask questions or there'll be a panel discussion. And so now I'd like to introduce our speaker for today. He has 40 years of satsang experience. He is the grandson of Guru Maharaj. Upon arriving to the United States from India, country in which he was born, he began conducting satsangs online. This weekend workshop you're participating in today is a result of his effort to continue spreading satsang throughout the world. He has attracted people from around the world as a result of his kindness and warm affection. He currently travels throughout the United States and India conducting satsang, while at the same time maintaining his duties as a father, a husband, and an IT executive. Please join me now in welcoming Brother Sanjeev Kumar.
Good morning. So today, and thanks, Eddie. Welcome, everyone. So somebody sent me a message this morning. Which is more important, the journey or the destination? So in this one, the answer was the company. But it's So satsang is all about the company you keep, and how do we transform that? How do we keep the company that we want to keep, and maybe redefine that, maybe uh, leverage the company we keep to transform ourselves from inside and out. But the journey and the destination, I think, is very interesting. When I think about satsang, when I think about yoga, what I also uh, think is that these words define the journey as well as the destination. It's very interesting. They define the journey and they define the destination. So if you literally translate what is yoga, yoga is basically the union. Um, so union with what? And then you know that can be described in many, many, many ways. But satsang describes that too. So yoga and satsang literally probably mean the same, because satsang is the good company, so the company you keep. Um, and So what is good company, or what is satsang? So as a destination, it is where you could define sahaj samadhi, you could define the peace, the light, the love, and you could then break that down. But end goal, the destination is, I think, if in one phrase, I think Guru Maharaj describes it, is to reach the land of peace, the ocean of peace. And usually that comes with, or maybe not, like the, you know, the journey you take also kind of uh, impacts the destination. It will, actually, it will. So satsang is a journey in the sense that you, uh, so yoga has many, many, many branches. And I just, in the process of writing about yoga and what's different and what's same about satsang, in that process, I just realized that what is so very, very clear, um, when you just go, like, take one step in understanding these two things. So Maharishi Patanjali, the father of yoga philosophy, describes Ashtang Yoga, or 8 limbs of yoga. So that becomes a framework within which you could see all the variations of yoga philosophy. If these 8 elements, these 8 limbs are there, then it is yoga, fits in that framework. Otherwise, it's not. But what just almost like it was like a light bulb that went off is 4 elements out of the 8 talk about meditation, meditation, meditation only. It is describing meditation from, like, where it starts to where it ends. So dharana is what, so actually dharana is where, what's the object of concentration? What do you want to manifest? What are you imagining? So that's dharana. So that's one of the 8 limbs. And when you become one with the object of concentration, you are actually meditating. So when you forget about yourself, when you forget about what you started with, what you started your meditation with, then you are in meditation. Um, and then uh, samadhi is the state when the higher consciousness, the higher level of awareness, or the resulting state that meditation brings. So dharana, dhyan, samadhi are, some people say it's the top three of the uh, eight limbs. And then, so we always start. And so if we look at the left side, pratyahar, dharana, dhyan, samadhi. So uh, essentially, every single session that we have, when we go into meditation, there is like literally like 2 lines or maybe 2 minutes of instruction. And that says, sit in a relaxed posture. So it covers your asanas. Meditation in itself would regulate your breathing, so it covers pranayam. The instruction says, you know, think of this amazingly positive, uplifting, and divine light that is in front of you. So that's the dharana. And focusing on that and then meditating on it is your dhyan or meditation. So you go deeper into it, you get into the dhyan state. And the instruction also says that if your mind, which will wander away, wanders away, then bring it back. That is pratyahar, or looking inwards. So you, instead of letting your mind go elsewhere, your manifestation, the object of concentration, your dharana, is your focus for the session and for your meditation. So if it, again, your mind kind of goes away, bring it back. So bringing it back, keeping an eye on where the mind is. So that's dharana and pratyahar. So instruction is essentially covering dharana and pratyahar. And literally, asana, pranayam, dharana, and pratyahar, 4 of these things are covered in like 2 minutes. And then for 15, 20 minutes, you go into dhyan, which maybe for 30 seconds, maybe for the entire period, could be your samadhi. Or eventually you will reach that state where higher consciousness is prevailing while you meditate. Or it has taken over to a point where higher consciousness, higher awareness prevails throughout the day. Now, what about yama and niyama? So Guru Maharaj clearly and absolutely, one of his core tenets would be that if your meditation, if your practice, if your dharana, dhyan, and samadhi practice is not improving your behavior, then evaluate. Something is not right. Reevaluate. Ground yourself. So basically, yama and niyama, he says, would also, so it's not just samadhi that's the after effect, but what you will realize is that, like, it's yam and niyam are basically the traits you want to keep and traits you want to give up, but instead of focusing it up front, Guru Maharaj's view was that these things require inner strength. These things require some help from potentially within or from, wherever you are sourcing the energy from. And in satsang, Guru plays that role. But um, essentially, it is more about the energy that we keep. The company that we keep is not defined as a person. It is defined as the company of the uplifting uh, and energizing energy that keeps you, charged up during the meditation, and eventually that prevails throughout the day. So and throughout our lives. So we'll talk more about this whole thing, that how satsang is a destination or a definition of a destination, but it's that entire journey through pratyahar, dharana, dhyan, and samadhi, which uh, goes through. I mean, it looks like these are four things, but if we go back to our, uh, 5 levels or 5 steps that you need to cross. So, uh, essentially, satsang, the way it is defined, it fits into the yoga framework in a very unique way. And so as to start your journey at the third realm and then take you through that, and hopefully the goal is that if your practice is guided correctly, it's your inward focus, your object of focus, if those are really, that's the key, because that's where it starts, but where you start is the key. So here the start is at the third realm. So there are nuances around that. And, and then just once you cut across the third realm, then you are on cruise control. You are literally, destined to cut across to the top. Um, so, like yama and niyama and asanas and pranayams, which become the focus, which would have helped you in, say, realm 2 and maybe in 1. So that has been flipped. So you start from the realm of the mind, and you will cover 1 and 2 in some ways, because you're starting middle. So when you cross that journey, you will learn enough to deal with the other 2 realms, and then just cut across from there, upward journey. So anyway, so we'll talk more about that after. At this point, let's focus on the practice, and as we usually do, just sit in a relaxed posture and think of this divine light, this amazing, uplifting light that's in front of us. So that's another thing I wanted to highlight, that the upasana, which is also bhakti and upasana, which kind of is the are the things that take you through the third realm. The difference between say what you do in the second realm and the third realm is the second realm, the things start where you think that your destination is farther away and you have to make effort to cut across. Here, you are thinking that your destination is right in front of you. Your imagination or your dharana is that you are already there. So satsang is where you start, which is your the energy that you want to become one with is not far, is right in front of you. And that's, the key difference between how methods in realm 2 and realm 3 differ. So realm 3 is I'm imagining I'm already there and I have to make that real. So what we are imagining is the energy that we want to become one with is right in front of us, right there. So we are with the energy already. That's our dharana. That's our object of concentration. We want to manifest this, but it's not far. It's right there. I'm right in, like sitting in front, literally. And it's not just that, that energy is entering our heart. And then it is going throughout our body. So the energy that is actually another entity at this point when I start my meditation is now becoming one with me. So I am becoming completely and totally immersed in this energy that's light. This light is entering my heart and then going throughout my body. So now I'm literally immersed and completely becoming one and getting unionized with this energy. So there is no difference between me and this energy. This amazingly uplifting and positive energy is what I am through this meditation process. So the light is in front of me, it's entering my heart, distributing throughout my body, and I'm becoming one with this light. And mind wanders away, bring it back to this. We're not doing anything, we're not thinking anything, we're just with this company, this energy. And this energy in form of light is right with me, entering my heart, and then getting completely dispersed all around my body. My body is completely getting immersed in this energy. And that's all that exists. So again, I'm in front of this light. This light is entering my heart and getting distributed throughout my body. And that I'm getting completely and totally immersed in this. Let's start. Hey, Pant. Um, you got to run.
Sorry, yeah. Catch up
Yeah,
next time.
yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about your reaction to what we were discussing, but we can do it next time.
Oh, okay, just we can spend a couple of minutes. It's destination versus journey, right?
Yeah.
I think both are important. Destination being on the wrong side, right? It's not acceptable. Right? So destination needs to be correct as a point, probably. And journey is important to reach that. Both are go hand in hand. Keeping the joy meter in neutral way during the journey will help us. Like sustainability is also important to reach the destination. Both are important in my view.
Yeah, I'm very fascinated by, you know, the way it is defined, satsang literally, and it defines a destination and it defines the process, the journey as well. Yoga is the same way in some way. So, Luz, Eddie, what do you think? Other folks, Shivangi.
Happy Saturday, everyone.
Hello, hello.
It's
How are you
always,
today?
I'm doing very well, and it's always great to see you all and meditate with you. Um, I don't know that I have a whole lot to contribute just yet. Sometimes I like to hear other people's thoughts and then respond, but I liked what you said in the beginning about the company. It's the company and the company, the satsang company, but also you said in the company of the energy that you want to kind of imbibe inside of you when you're doing this meditation. So interesting. Just like made me think and I want to kind of think about that a little bit more, but that's so important, the company that you keep.
Yeah, it's very, very important because in Gita somewhere there is a mention that once you find the ocean, the ponds that you used to like earlier would no longer be relevant.
Mm.
So satsang is like, you know, in English, we sometimes, it's like, it's the language that, so the younger folks, like, they started describing satsang as a get together. And what came to me was like, get together. Yeah, it's definitely one aspect of collective energy, maybe. But like, I always think that, going to a church could be a get together, but with whom is the question. So we need to think about company, but company of, this cosmic energy, which has no limits versus other things.
And I also found your discussion on, or what your comment on, when you were talking about getting into the meditation and envisioning the light and being one with that. You also mentioned company, being in the company of that. And I thought that was very interesting too, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the very key differences between, say, hot yoga and anything to do with meditation is where these two begin are significantly different because one is about making an effort, and whatever those, there are several things that you need to do to get to the destination. But, on the flip side, um, you, upasana or bhakti or, uh, you know, um, so upasana is like one of the methods to cross the third realm, and that's more about meditation, and it literally means sitting in front of. So this meditation is not that the destination is far away, it's right here, and I'm imagining that. So that's the dharana part of it, or the manifestation, or imagination, or object of concentration. But the difference is, am I making an effort to get there, or I'm just imagining that I'm there already?
Mhm.
Two different perspectives.
Mhm.
Very, I mean, completely, like, it's significantly different, right? Significant. Another aside is, you know, where you begin is extremely important. Like, so on the, on that pyramid, like which level you start your journey. I mean, it's like, it's kind of a, uh, I think it doesn't, um, conceptually, it's hard to realize that you could start your journey in the middle or the top, or the bottom, and that's your choice. But it is. Um, so I think the biggest fight, or the ideological difference between methods and practices, is like, where do you begin? I I almost feel that the destination is pretty much the same. Um, it's where you begin, how. So the journey is the, different, but destination is pretty much the same. But then again, I think when I think about it, um, you know, I think in one of the sessions it described that of all the five realms, the top of each realm is such a huge milestone that in certain ideologies and practices, they think that's it. So, people who don't care about the rest, top of the first realm is it. Like, worldly success is it, and there is nothing more. And I think we can describe it the same way for all other realms.
It's like you can start anywhere, but you will soon calibrate yourself. Like it's like reading thermodynamics or mathematics. First, you may feel few lessons, you understood everything, but because read second time, oh my God, something is missing.
Yeah.
The third time you go back, go to the bottom level, again you start. So it's kind of cycle till you reach the point, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a very good point. I actually experienced it, and a lot of other people have mentioned. So the 7-volume book my grandfather wrote, every time you read it, you realize, oh, I didn't realize this the first time. And it's what you're describing kind of makes me feel something happens through, so you get deeper into the subject, you get deeper into the nuances. So Eddie, what would be the wrap up?
You mentioned this system of satsang that we have, and I would just remind everyone that we mentioned when we start these weekend workshops that we're all in pursuit of joy, and that this satsang workshop teaches us how to obtain peace, light, and love in our lives. So, this is essentially yoga, right? We try to achieve these states of peace and joy, and that is essentially yoga. And so, what you described today with this method of satsang is what Guru Maharaj had invented, in a sense, a simple system whereby we could obtain yoga. And all we have to do is practice, 2 times a day for 15 to 20 minutes. And all the complexities of, the movements of consciousness and the gunas and all of these complexities that are found in our movements and consciousness become irrelevant in our achieving yoga, because Guru Maharaj simply said, to be with this company, to be with the light. That's all you have to do for 15 to 20 minutes a day, and during the day, you can also remain with that light or in that company by practicing, yam and yam and detachment. So he simplified the system for us to achieve yoga, hopefully in one lifetime, but to do it very efficiently and quickly. So I would just remind everyone that, you know, the uh, the understanding of the 8 limbs of yoga are in some sense complex, and so different organizations or different yoga philosophies approach it in different ways, right? But we're all leading, like Sanji said, to the same goal. But Guru Maharaj has simplified this so much that it only takes 15, 20 minutes a day, simple visualization, and we can achieve it. So just practicing this method will get us there.
Yeah, I think one of the things we started with the discussion of company, and I think what Guru Maharaj talked about was, if you are in the right company, and here we are talking about this energy that we are with, the rest will be history. So just 15 minutes of this company, all you have to do is make an effort to be there, and then the rest will be done by that energy, that company. So the company can transform. Alrighty. On that note, see you all soon, and thanks to be here, and it's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sanji.
Ant, Luz, Eddie, Warren, Shivangi, Sangeeta ji, Poonam ji, Ant, Omkar.
Namaste भैया.
Everyone.
प्रणाम.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Liz.
Thank you.
Thank you, Warren.